Okay, the hour being 7 o'clock, I'll call this meeting to order. How about if we have the Green River cheerleaders lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, I'd like to move the approval of the council minutes for last council meeting on February 3rd, 2026, and put it as council item C, or council action C. I think that's the right place for it.
Okay, do we need a motion and a second on that?
Mr. Mayor, that was your motion. You'll need a second to consider it.
Okay, we have a motion, we need a second.
I make a motion that we move the council action items, minutes of last council meeting.
To item C for discussion.
Council Williams is talking about.
So are you making the second then?
I'm making a motion. He actually really made the motion,
I
so
made
I
the
can
motion
make the
for it.
second.
Yeah.
Because he already made the motion.
Okay, if I understand it correctly, we have a motion and a second. Ron made the motion and you seconded it.
Yeah.
So all in favor of this motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Aye.
So it passes, and we've got item C added to the,
Mayor,
yes.
I heard two people vote for it, and
We're not
was there two that voted for it?
going to take it up right now, Gary.
Because if it doesn't pass, then I don't think we can talk about it as a council action item.
Mr. Mayor, I think he's following asking the vote yea and nay on the question.
So you want to hear the votes again?
Well, I'd like to have a discussion on that, what we went to executive session and came back out for, and I'd like to have my vote recognized, and stuff.
That'll be as if the council.
That will be when-
So what we're asking for is for the motion and second to move the item from consent to action item C. What was the vote on it? Was it, I heard yeas and nays both, but I didn't hear exactly how many of each.
You did not
Okay,
hear no
let's-
nays,
let's
because I
see.
did not say
We're
no
not
nays.
talking
No, he's
about
talking
that, Ron.
about-
Oh, here?
You're
Okay.
confusing the issue.
Well, let's just,
We're talking about right now,
Yeah.
whether we're going to move it or not.
okay, yeah.
So, all in favor of moving this item, raise your hand. I'm just indicating you need to raise your hand. I'm not raising mine. All opposed, raise your hand. Okay, we're not moving the item, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Mayor, I make a motion we approve the agenda as is.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Kilpack, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Aye.
carries. Oh, pardon me.
So, Mr. Mayor, I heard ayes and nays, so.
Okay, let's do a hand vote again. We'll do this a hand vote all the time if we wanted to.
There you go.
All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye. Raise your hand. Opposed? Okay, you got that, Chris?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right, thank you. All right, the first item on the agenda is recognition of the Green River High School cheer team. The cheer team is partially here, and if somebody could just, you guys go ahead, stand up. You're welcome to introduce these people. Just tell us a little bit. Like I know, seeing the picture, there's a whole bunch of people, and I'm sure you can't, everybody can't make it this, but tell us just briefly what you guys just accomplished, because it's very significant.
Okay, my name is Michaela Smart. I'm the head coach for the Green River High School cheer team. And tonight we had our kids camp, one of our fundraisers here. But I brought our captains tonight. So I have Maggie Lennon, Dak Smith, Juliet Peterson, and Jocelyn Hunt. And they are our representation of our team of 21 this year. And we just accepted our third 4A game day state championship in a row. And for these seniors standing next to me, this is their 5th overall that they've done together. So quite a feat, and we would just like to thank you guys for your support as City Council, and thank the community for the support and all the fundraisers and all the escorts and things that we have gotten over the years, and we appreciate you having us.
Okay, and we're going to take a picture and present a plaque, and before we do that, let's give these guys a round of applause.
Good job, everyone.
Congratulations.
Okay, we're going to take a 1-minute recess so that these guys can go through their homework. Great job, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Go Wolves. Okay, next up is presentation, Sweetwater County Joint Travel and Tourism Board. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Janessa.
Usually it's not tall enough. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Janessa Meredith. I'm the CEO of Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism. Thank you for allowing me some time tonight to share with you our 2025 annual report. So you have that in the yellow bag that I gave you. It looks like this. I'll go through it slide by slide. I don't know how to make it move. I would love to know.
She's good. Forward. We've got to push it right
Perfect, hard. Okay, I'm in. Thank you very much, I appreciate it. So as you know, the Lodging Tax Board is made up of 11 volunteer board members. 6 of them come from the City of Rock Springs, 2 from Green River, 1 from Wamsutter, 1 from Superior, and 1 from the county commissioners. So they're all volunteer board members charged with administering the 4% local lodging tax. So really blessed. The purpose of the lodging tax is to put heads in beds. So we can't build a theme park, we can't build any attraction that would draw visitors. All we can do is marketing to generate visitation, increase that occupancy in our lodging properties. And as you know also, the lodging tax is voted on by local residents in a general election every 4 years. So since 1991, local residents have been asked to vote on the local lodging tax, to say, yes, we want folks to pay that when they stay in our hotels and campgrounds. And I will say, I've been a part of 4 elections. This will be my 5th election in 2026. The math doesn't math on that, so don't even try to do it. But yes, we have had 78 to 82% success over the course of my tenure supporting that lodging tax. So local residents really do understand the value of the lodging tax and why it benefits our local community. And it is the tax that you don't pay. So if you live in Sweetwater County, you don't pay the lodging tax unless you stay in a hotel or a campground, which we joke that your problems are bigger than the lodging tax if you live here and you're staying in the hotel. So it's something that residents don't pay. It's paid by visitors. It's money brought into our economy that we all get to benefit from. We operate the Visitor Center on Elk Street in Rock Springs. We've been there since 2020. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to interact with the traffic that's heading to the national parks of Wyoming. We get to slow them down, encourage them to stay longer, and experience everything that's great about Sweetwater County. The lodging tax collection, you can see there early on in that report how it's been collected over the years. We've seen a steady increase in the lodging tax in recent years. Right now it's collecting just over $1.5 million. Here's the budget breakdown. So like I said, it has to be spent on marketing to generate hotel occupancy. So 79% of the lodging tax is spent on an out-of-county marketing campaign, 6% on event grants, 2% to the Chambers of Commerce, 3% to the Sweetwater Events Complex, and then 9% on administration. The block grants that we administer, we give both chambers a block grant, we give the Events Complex a block grant, and then we also give Downtown Rock Springs a block grant as well. We fund over 30 events a year. So any event in Sweetwater County that generates hotel occupancy will qualify for lodging tax funding. And we consider those applications quarterly. So everything from the River Festival to the Flaming Gorge Classic to the Toman Invitational, all of those events are funded by the lodging tax every year. And we also work to recruit events to our area. Most recently, we hosted the 2023 and 2024 state 3A and 4A boys and girls soccer tournaments. And I'm pleased to report that we actually secured that bid again for 27 and 28. That event alone, it's 800 competitors and their families and everyone who supports them. It's a $3 million economic impact to our local economy for each one of those state sporting events that we recruit. It's an open to bid on. Every destination in the state has the opportunity. They just have to go after it and be able to qualify to host it. So really pleased to be able to do that. In the report as well, you'll get to see the committees and boards that I serve on. I was recently appointed to the State Tourism Board. I serve on regional boards, national boards. Anything where I have a seat at the table to represent Sweetwater County Travel and Tourism, I want to be there. It's not talking to me. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. The Tourism Master Plan. Every about 5 years, we create a tourism master plan. So we want to make sure that we have a vision for what we want the future to look like for tourism. So this plan was developed in 2021. We've made a lot of movement on this plan. So a lot of you are a part of that in 2021, and we are redoing that plan this year. So part of what we had originally done, the Rock Springs wayfinding system, the update to that system was part of that plan. A lot of involvement in outdoor recreation opportunities, a lot of dealing with our local hospitality industry, and we also commissioned a feasibility study to assess whether or not an indoor sports facility is feasible for Sweetwater County. The results are that it is feasible, it does make sense, this community can support it, and if we see a path forward, I'm ready to go to work to make that happen. So we're in the initial phases of having that conversation right now. That's an example of the wayfinding system in Rock Springs. And then as far as tourism product development, many of you are familiar with the Flaming Gorge bus tours. We've been hosting these since 2021. We've hosted thousands of passengers. It's a full-day guided tour around Flaming Gorge. I created this in 2021 to give visitors an opportunity to see Sweetwater County without having to explore on their own. We have a lot of public land, a lot of ability to just, no borders, no boundaries, go and explore on your own. But I wanted a ticketed attraction where people can be guided and shown what's really special about Sweetwater County. And Flaming Gorge is one of our greatest tourism assets. So happy to have been able to host that tour for 5 years. We'll host it again this summer and continue for years to come. Too far, sorry. Sandboarding. In addition to the Flaming Gorge, we also promote the Kilpecker Sand Dunes, as you would imagine. And we wanted to provide a way for people to experience the Kilpecker Sand Dunes without having to own an ATV. So we've been selling sandboards for 5 years. It's an easy way for people to get out there and experience the epic landscape without having to own an ATV because we don't have a rental opportunity as well. We have both sales and rentals of sandboarding in Sweetwater County. We also send out a resident mailer every year to everyone in Sweetwater County to let them know what the lodging tax is used for, how important it is, and to encourage them to rediscover their backyard, get out and explore. The Flaming Gorge, as I mentioned, is our greatest tourism asset. It's dependable. The roads are paved. It's not going to not show up like the wild horses do occasionally. It's there. It's not moving. So we have really doubled down on our efforts to promote the Flaming Gorge in the last 5 years. Worked to get the All-American Road designation in 2021, one of only 37 All-American roads in the country. And then also to build turnouts. So the Henry's Fork is the turnout that we were working on now with the Forest Service. So it's a petroglyph site just north of Manila on Highway 530. And hopefully once federal funding gets unlocked, we'll be able to bring that project to fruition. We also partner with Downtown Rock Springs, help them with that lighted Christmas display and also their bronze art. We also partner with KUTV2 News out of Salt Lake City. Every year, they come to our area and we're able to showcase what's great about Sweetwater County. We had their van out on the Sweetwater Speedway at the events complex this last summer, which was super fun. They're a great partner for us, and we really have a broad reach with that outlet. We also had funded some video projects, some documentaries that showcase our area. And then we built the Flaming Gorge audio tour app this year. So instead of taking the guided tour, if you don't want to do that, you can do a self-guided tour with an audio app, which gives you interpretation, videography, photography, check-in locations where you can come back to the visitor center and get a free t-shirt. There's a Spotify playlist. There's a lot of fun parts of that app that we've built out in the last year. And then as I mentioned in that pie chart, that budget that we spend, 79% of it is out of county marketing. These are some of the creative executions of that marketing. A lot of local residents don't see it because it's not targeted towards them, but that's some of the visualizations of that. We also partner with travel writers, people who write articles in travel magazines. We host a press trip every summer, and for every article that's written and editorial coverage that we receive, that totaled over $6 million of earned media in 2025, which is really well worth our effort for that. We won an award for our Flaming Gorge tour video last year that I shared with you. And I want to share our 2-minute video. This is the last time you get to see it. We're doing a new video shoot this summer, so this is the last year that we're using this for promotion, but I'll show it to you one more time, and hopefully it'll work. Or you're just going to have to imagine that it's...
Flaming Gorge Country is a landscape like no other. Here, ancient rock formations and pristine wilderness meet stunning waterways and canyons. Tour the Flaming Gorge Scenic Byway, a designated all-American road in southwest Wyoming, and let the open road take you somewhere unforgettable. Travel safe and stay informed while adventuring responsibly in Rock Springs and Green River. Plan your adventure at explorewy.com.
That was actually the video we won an award for. So it's not the 2-minute that I referenced. That was the one we won the award for. So that was good. I don't know why this clicker. Okay. On to the Reach Awards. So we can spend a ton of money on marketing to get people to come to our area, but if they come here and they have a bad experience on the front line, checking into the hotel, the room isn't clean, the maintenance not taken care of, people are rude in the community, it's all for naught. So we give out what's called the Reach Awards every year, Rare and Exceptional Achievement for Customer Service and Hospitality. I've been giving this out for almost 20 years, and it's a way for us to recognize the backbone of the industry, the people who are actually on the ground providing customer service and taking care of our local visitors, and so want to make sure we're going to continue to do that for years to come. And then our Certified Tourism Ambassador program, this is a customer service training. So half of the training you learn about the area, half of the training you learn about customer service skills. We have over 200 Certified Tourism Ambassadors in Sweetwater County, which is a big deal. There are places that have 10 times our population that don't have half as many. So Allison Balsick has really taken that program and really run with it. I'm really proud of being able to say we have 200 tourism ambassadors. The travel impact study. So we make sure that when we place advertising, we measure the effectiveness of that advertising to make sure that it's worthwhile, right? We want to make sure that we're generating heads and beds, like I said. So we know that for every dollar that we spend on advertising, there's a return on investment of $798 to the local economy. Our advertising influenced almost $77 million in visitor spending. People stay 4 days, they bring 2.9 people, they engage in 4.8 activities, and we influenced over 59,000 visits in 2025. And I've been doing this for almost 20 years. And I will tell you, there was a day that we did not have a return on investment for our local, for our marketing spend. So these are great numbers to see. Going forward, we have built a history app for the America 250 celebration coming this summer. This is an app similar to the Flaming Gorge audio tour app that we've built. So leading people to the historic sites in the county, they can check in, they can win prizes, learn about the history of Sweetwater County as part of the celebration, and then going forward, it's a history app that we can use continuously in the future. And thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and I would stand for questions if you have them.
Councilman Williams.
I'd just like to make a comment with the trails and stuff. I got lucky enough, and me and Mr. Lewis did up behind the Hampton, did that trail up there. That's something that, I think everybody should do at least once. That's all done with volunteers, and the work those guys done it's crazy, man. I tell you, I didn't even know those trails existed back there, but that's a nice little hike, and it goes up there. They're not finished yet, but when they do, it's going to be a real nice trail. And do we have any information for the people in the motel there? Maybe that trail is there, and they, stay in a motel for a couple of days, it gets boring. Maybe they take a walk. It takes right up on top of the hill, and you can see everything up there. So
absolutely.
I just was saying that was pretty nice, and hope the city can keep on helping them out with what they need to do little things. And like I said, there's a good future there, I think. So
Absolutely. There's phenomenal trails throughout Green River, and we have offered to do the brochures, the mapping, anything that we can do. So we're in the process of working together with them to make sure that we can sell it, to promote it, and help visitors get to experience it as well.
thank you.
Anyone else? I did take the bus tour, and it was great. It was really worthwhile, and I encourage anybody to do it. It's a great experience.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's open to anyone for free that is involved with our community, so just get a hold of us.
Okay. Thank you, Janessa.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Okay, item C, FMC Park Plan Improvement Update.
It's not too tall for me. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Katie Duncombe, Director of Parks and Recreation. I'm just here to give you an update on the FMC park improvements that have been going on. Over the past several years, the City of Green River has been working with the Sweetwater Mountain Bike Association, the Greenbelt Task Force, the Wyoming Game and Fish Department, Trout Unlimited, and the Sanders family to develop a thoughtful plan for FMC Park, and through that process we have gathered input from those groups to ensure that the city property down there is a good use for and multi-use area. So recent improvements include upgrades to the boat ramp and the access road through partnership with the Wyoming Game and Fish, Trout Unlimited, and our Streets Department. In addition, the Sweetwater Mountain Bike Association has spearheaded the development of the parking area for the Wilkins Peak Trail System, which is now complete. But once funding is secure, the Mountain Bike Association also plans on putting a picnic shelter and a vault toilet in that area to help with tourism and to promote the trails. We've also modified vehicle access within the park to promote vegetation recovery, slow traffic in that area, and improve safety for walkers and bikers and equestrian, or people that are down there riding horses. That area has been subject to people with their ATVs or motorcycles kind of using it as a racetrack, or when there's a lot of water down there, mud bogging. So we just wanted to make it a safer, slower area for multi-use recreation. The changes include consolidating the vehicle travel to one primary access route to the boat ramp, and then defining walking paths and improved parking areas to the ramp, and then trying to decrease that vegetation damage. We installed buck and rail fencing to better manage that access and then just to enhance the aesthetics of the area. Looking ahead, future phases include formalizing the equestrian trail from Scotts Bottom and continuing development of shared pedestrian and bike trail connections to the Wilkins Peak Trail system. So if you'll look at your map, does Tara have it? I don't know if she was going to pull it up. So you guys have a map, but so if you look at your map, it starts the FMC Red Barn, and the main roadways are the orange and white, depicted as orange and white. And then there will be a walking trail and a bike trail, which is the blue trail that connects to from Scotts Bottom, and it'll go clear over to the boat ramp and then up to the Wilkins Peak Trail. And then the equestrian trail will go from those horse corrals down there, and then it'll take people out of city limits. The other things that you'll notice on here are the black dotted line is where we did install the buck and rail fence around the parking area and along the road. Additional buck and rail fence will be added down by the boat ramp to keep people in one area when they're parking down there and not drive over the grass and vegetation. Then there's also the dotted lines, or not the dotted lines, sorry, the dashes. Those are all revegetation or reclaimed areas that we want to either overseed or just keep people off of to try and just improve the area and improve the vegetation and coverage. Then there'll be a couple improved parking areas down by the boat ramp. Those are in red on the council's maps. And then with that, to improve some recreation access, the Greenbelt would like to try and put a covered picnic pavilion down by the boat ramp. And then the Mountain Bike Association, you can see the two pictures up there in the right-hand corner. Those are just two images of items, the vault toilet and then the picnic shelter that they would like to put in that area. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Councilman Williams.
Yeah, I was just down there today. Kind of curious, that upper parking area, why do we have a row of rocks running up through the middle of the parking there?
Because people like to tear up the parking area.
Well, I was just saying, if I was going to take my trailer down there, four-wheelers on it, so I could run up the dirt road there, I couldn't get it in there and turn around. I'd have a heck of a time, my 16-foot trailer, trying to back it up and get it around in there. I think it's going to be more of, I think it's probably temporary. I don't know. After looking at, you're putting a bathroom in there and a gazebo and all that stuff, that's going to pretty much fill up that whole area, but.
And Charles is here with the Mountain Bike Association, and they're going to have a different plan for that area. They're actually trying to find somebody to draw up the official plan for that parking area.
Okay.
But it is for the mountain bike
They're gonna maybe enlarge it or something. Like, you know what I mean? If I was
Yes.
gonna pull in there, those rocks, if you don't see them, you're gonna tear your truck up. I was just, like I said, I was running around down there, and I don't know. I looked at the three accesses to it and this and that, but now I look at it and all those accesses are gonna be stopped except for one. I don't know. There's a rock pulled up there by the parking lot. You could just drive right through there. So I didn't know if I was supposed to do that or not. But I was driving all, looking at the trails that I took as a kid. I don't know.
That's going to be reclaimed there, and that would be part of the walking path, as you can see with the blue trail.
So there's just going to be the one access down to the boat ramp,
Yes.
and what you're going to do then right back out.
Yep, the main access, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments, Council?
Thanks
Thank
for the
you.
update.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on, item 5, citizen requests and other communications. Are there any citizens in the audience that are not on the agenda that would like to address the council? Yes, sir.
Council, Mayor, Bill Stanton. I just came to ask a couple questions about sewer increase rates. I have the old, it was an old document that the city put out when we first started doing the sewer plant upgrade. And now that the sewer plant is operational, I was just wanting to get some updated numbers on rate increases because I saw they started going up this month in our bills. So the map that I have was put out in, or the chart I have was put out in 2023, and it's got consecutive years through fiscal year 2027. And I was just curious if if those are still accurate rate increases, or if anybody knows the answer to that question by chance.
Well, we're certainly not able to answer that question. Chris is the acting city administrator and the finance director. Can you tell us where we should be on this?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. If you remember right, we updated that study in 2024, 2023, or 2024, 2025 fiscal years. So that is out there. We only do rate increases on July 1st of any given fiscal year. So in that, we do have a 5-year plan put together for that. And as I know of right now, that plan can still continue to run for the next 5 years. That was a study put together by us by New Gen Studies.
So I'm assuming I can come down and get a copy of that?
Yeah, we can get you a copy of that anytime you're, yes.
So that just kind of leads into my question. You guys are all going to be deciding on some water tanks here in the near future, right? I saw you're doing the studies right now. I look back through the master plan, and there's some areas of town for future development that they're talking about. So maybe if you could include that in your thought processes when you're working through these new tanks, if we have to demo a tank and install a new one. I mean, sewer plant obviously had to be where it was for a number of reasons, but those tanks, not that they're extremely versatile, but we could plan ahead for the next large-scale subdivision that'll have to happen in Green River eventually. And if one of those tanks were to need replaced, maybe throw the idea of moving that tank and extending those water lines to serve a different area than just the one it serves now. Just so we don't have to pay another $53 million in the future to catch up to something that we could have got ahead of in the meantime. So, thanks.
Phil, I have a question. So
Yes, sir.
you're on the Planning and Zoning Commission now, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you guys deal with these planning issues in terms of, because that's what this is,
So those,
have you had any discussion on this?
I would really like to. No, the planning and zoning is more, it's just, we don't really get into that large water stuff. That's more Mark. But if you guys would like to, I'd love to be on a committee that gets to review those engineering notes and such to see what, I know we don't need any more committees inside the city probably for things like that, but if you want to create one, I'd be game to be on it, so. But, yeah, appreciate your time, thanks.
Thanks for the suggestion,
Thank you. Those are the kind of things that I think when we do the goal setting that we might be talking about those kinds of things. There's all kinds of improvements that we'll be discussing, so it might be a viable option. Okay, are there any other citizens that are not on the agenda that would like to address the council? Okay.
Mayor and Council, Ryan Russ, Government Affairs. I am not a citizen, as you know. I am an employee, but I didn't get on the presentations portion of the agenda, and I talked with Reed, and he asked that I come and share just a real quick update on what's going on in the legislative session with you. So If you check your emails in our department head update today, we sent out a few of the key bills that we're looking at, a little bit of a write-up discussing some of those, as well as our full legislation tracker. So I'm just going to real quickly go through some of those and really ultimately just let you know that we are watching this very closely. We're engaged in talking with some of our partners and some of our legislators on this, and really I want to hear back from you guys if there's anything that you feel is important and you want to take any further action on, or I can be any support to you in that area. So as you know, the session is rolling on. We're in our second week. It's a budget session, so there's a higher threshold to get individual bills introduced. That means there's been many bills have already died so far. Lots, actually. It's pretty surprising. Today, they started on second reading of the budget bill. There was some interesting maneuvers, and so the House, for instance, is still in session right now as we speak, and likely will be most of the night unless they decide otherwise. They started at 10 o'clock this morning, and they're on Amendment 23 of 122 to the budget today. So they've got some work to do. But a couple of the bills that we're looking at, House Bill 107 is probably the one that's biggest for local governments, is the local government distribution bill. It's passed the House, all three readings, and is now at the Senate. This bill would get rid of the direct distribution. As we know, we get direct distribution payments from the state, local governments and counties do every year. This was really implemented to sort of replace a number of other revenue streams that the state has taken away over the years. The sales tax on food was one of the big ones. The amount has fluctuated over the years. What this bill would do is get rid of that direct distribution that we all go down every year to the legislature and fight for those funds. And instead, it would give a portion of the sales tax, the 4 pennies statewide sales tax, that the state keeps, and give a portion of that back to the local governments. That would be in statute, so we don't have to go fight every year. We would just ride the sales tax up and downs with the state. The bill originally came out at 5.6% additional sales tax to the cities. That was amended in the House up to 7%. So effectively what that means for Green River is currently this year for direct distribution, we're receiving $1.13 million. This bill, if it passes at 7%, we would receive 1.114. So it's a slight reduction for us, but that's based on estimates of what sales tax collections will be. If sales tax collections increase, the city gets even more money than we do under direct distribution, and we assume that that number is going to continue to increase throughout the years. So that'll be a more stable funding source. That's going to move to the Senate, and we'll see what percentage they ultimately settle on. But that'll be an interesting one. That percentage is distributed through what they call the Madden formula, which is the same formula that they use for the direct distribution. That's different than the formula for all the other sales tax distributions. That formula highly favors small and poor communities. We are not one of those. So this is not a very favorable distribution formula for us, but it's certainly favorable for lots of the small communities around the state. And so we understand that that's likely to be the formula that's used to distribute this funds. And again, a very minor reduction for the city if this does go through, and then we won't have to go and fight for direct distribution each year. A couple others that I highlighted in our email today. There's Second Amendment Protection Act amendments. I'll leave that to the Sean and the PD if they have anything that they want to add to this, but ultimately it just restricts the use of funding to implement federal gun laws. There's some things in there, however, that allow the city, the police department, and individual officers to be held liable for certain actions that they do in their job. And so it's a long bill, there's some other issues with it potentially, but there are some concerns from law enforcement across the state about how this might make their job more difficult. Senate File 81 is public school finance. It's very odd that we're talking about a public school finance bill, but what this bill would do is require all of the school districts in the state to be on the state's health insurance plan. The health insurance plan that the city is on is one that is shared with many school districts. So if this passes in this form, lots of school districts, all of the school districts will leave, and our plan will either get more expensive or completely go away, which would leave the city, and a number of 16 total municipalities participate in this, so we would be in trouble. There was an amendment that pushes that out a year, so they don't have to change immediately. And in the meantime, there is a study that would be required to see what the actual cost is. We would expect that cost to be pretty significant, and the state would likely come back next year and say, we're not going to make them do that, but that's something we're watching very closely. There were lots of property tax bills. As you know, last year there was a significant number of those. Most of those have died so far. There's a few that have minor impacts. There's also another one that's moving through Senate File 110. It does a number of different things. It reduces the assessment ratio for owner-occupied homes from 9.5% to 8.3%. 8.3 is as low as it can go constitutionally. It also gets rid of the 4% cap that the legislature placed on residential properties a few years ago, and would remove the 25 mills for local education from some of those homes. So it does a number of things that both increase revenues to local governments and decrease revenues to local governments. LSO, the Legislative Service Office, doesn't know what the impact of that is going to be fiscally. They haven't been able to work that out, but it's a pretty substantial change to property tax revenues, so we're keeping an eye on that one. Senate File 45, local approval for simulcasting, gives you all the more authority to approve, disapprove, revoke the historic horse racing terminals and various other gambling establishments in town. And then there's a number of other bills that I've included at the bottom of that list. I don't want to take too much more of your time, but just wanted to give a brief overview of those. Certainly want to answer any questions you might have about those or any other bills. And please reach out to me at any point in time as we go through this session to share your thoughts and concerns, and we can share those with our legislators and with our partners. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Ryan. Anybody? Any questions or comments?
Thanks for the update, Ryan. Thanks. Appreciate you providing the detail.
Yes, sir.
Can I mention something on tourism? Would you guys be interested in knowing where the money comes from or where the money is? Go down to Flamingo. I've been down there guiding for 10 years. And I'm senior guide for Flaming Gorge Resort, which is the biggest outfit. I have up to 15 guides below me on a daily basis. You know, that's where the tourism money is coming. You got people, shut up. Sorry.
You're okay.
Here's one of my clients. I'll talk to him later. I'm sorry. And it's not just what you make the $700 on the fishing trip. You guys have a golden egg floating right through town. And what swims in it is your gold. You got to get after it. I didn't get any help when I was outfitting up here. And I was running 300 and 400 trips a year. You know, you could figure the motel lodging was between 700 and 800 days a year on a daily or yearly basis. You know, some years a little more, some years a little less, but it was awful close to all of that. You know, and I never got any help. Tourism board was just starting. I asked them, I did all the work, I didn't get any help. I'm still doing the big trade shows, but I'd worked my way up to a celebrity, and when I tied or I cast or anything, I packed a house. And that also brought tourism into this town, big tourism. Now, I was below Flaming Gorge. There were 5 to 7 guides when I hired on. Like I was telling you, now they run 15 a day. And they're not the only outfit. There's 3 or 4 of them that are running 15 to 18 a day. And rafts going down that river, you can't even fly fish because they're running over your flies, they're running over your lines. You know, they're staying in lodging, they're forking out money for rafts and for everything else. You know, this is a golden egg. You know, I'm watching millions of dollars being made every way possible. And this has the potential to do all of that and more. You know, you guys aren't even touching it. You know, get in with BOR, straighten up this river, get this thing back where the fish can live in it. You know, when I left here, this was the #1 trophy trout fishery in the western United States. I got an article that was written on me that states that and says that. You know, and their companies still use my article on that. So, you know, there's things you guys can do as city council. I don't come in and talk to council meetings much. I try to stay out of this, you know, because I get a little excited sometimes. But there's things you guys can do to improve everything here. You know, I know things aren't going good for Green River. Things are down and out. And I'm driving 80 miles and watching it busted wide open to where we're going, what are we gonna do? Because it's gonna get a lot more down there. You know, why can't you have a bunch of those people coming up here because they're tired of the crowds? It's like, we want to go up there, man. We catch these big rainbows and big browns. We want to go back. That's what I sold. And that's how I kept it going, and I mean going. You know, I mean, I had over 20 feature articles written on me in fly fishing magazines. Do any of you people, maybe Mike saw one or two of them, but any of you guys, other people ever see any of them? Ever even know they were done? You know, you put me on the cover of a magazine or a book that you did for Green River. You know, the city of Green River, that historical book. The newspaper guy asked us to do a float with one of the boats was with him. And I had 2 fishermen in the boat, and they wanted me one of the fishermen, and they got it where you could see tollgate. You know, they wanted to see tollgate in the background. You know, and I was all for helping with all that, because that is promotion to bring money in the community. You can only do so much and you get tired of doing it. You know, you got to have help, and you people are where the help is. You know, I didn't mean to come in and disturb your meeting like that. I was coming in for something totally else to talk to Mike about. But I wanted to listen to this because this is my business. You know, I'm 69 years old and I'm still guiding well over 100 days a year. And I can guarantee you, nobody in this room can cast a fly anywhere close like I do. I chase big lakers with fly rods. Catch 30, 40-pound lake trout on fly rods. I'm a couple of weeks from going doing that. Now I'm retired or slowing down a lot. I'm going to spend a lot of time doing that till the water warms up, and then I got to go chase smallmouth bass and rainbows and cutthroats and whatever, along with what I chase in the river down there. You know, they're planting 4 species of cutthroats so that they can do that cutthroat slam, push that Wyoming cutthroat slam. You know, that's a Wyoming cut slam. Here, I did the Wyoming cut slam. They give me stickers for my boat because I did the slam all over 20 inches, probably once a week. You know, with my clients. With me, I could do it any day I went out on the river. You know, but you had that opportunity here at that time, and it's gone now. You just got to build it back up, get it going. The rocks are in the river just got to cool down a little bit, raise it up a little, you know, and then you're starting to fill fish in. You know, back then, Trout Unlimited was working tirelessly. They were hatching out 2 or 3 million eggs in comes out of Parson Eaton. What the heck's the name of that creek right
Big Sandy.
Big Sandy. They had all them hatching boxes in Big Sandy. I would go up there with the game and fish. I'd shock the river, I'd clip fins, because I had to know. I did a 6-year documentary. It changed how that documentary changed how the flows come out of Flaming Gorge. They don't peak it and drop it, peak it and drop it. It's a steady flow now because of that. You know, and they found out, boy, this is so much better for the fishing, and that means more money for us. And that's what's happening, you know. Mike can get a hold of me if you guys would like to discuss, but I'm sorry I cut in your meeting, and, you know, I just wanted you guys to think about this and look at it, because you do have a golden egg here. My name's Benny Johnson. They call me the hog hunter. You know, so.
Is it Benny?
Benny, yes.
Okay, Benny.
I used to own Highland Desert Flies. I still own it, but I just don't operate under it now. So,
Thanks, Benny.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a public hearing on the liquor license renewal applications.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We'll open the public meeting. This is the same meeting we have every year about this same time. We'll start a public meeting for any public that wants to have any concerns or questions on liquor licenses. I do not believe we have any new or changes from what you've previously seen or done from prior years. With that, I'll leave it open to the public hearing if there's any questions.
Okay, is there anybody that wants to address this in the public hearing? All right. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Item 7, ordinances. Consideration on second reading an ordinance amending Article 2, ordinance number 15-3.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, this is the same ordinance we've done. This will be the 5th reading total on basically the same issue on this. We are still currently working with Rocky Mountain Power to iron out a few differences. We're hoping to, it's right now with their attorney's hands, and we'll hopefully hear back from them soon. And hopefully this will be the last extension on this, but I can't promise that at this time.
Okay, is there any questions for comments for Chris? Okay, hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Berg.
I move to approve on second reading an ordinance amending Article 2, ordinance number 15-3 of the Green River Code of Ordinances for an extension of the Rocky Mountain Power franchise agreement.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Berg, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous, correct? Item 8, council action items. Item A, consideration to approve the liquor license renewal applications.
Thank you, Mayor. Overall, all the liquor licenses have been applied for. We've got them submitted to the state. I believe all the corrections have been made. If not, there's only a couple minor ones. The state has no issues, and we have no issues with the licenses that have been presented for us at this time. And I'll entertain any questions if you have any.
Anybody have any questions for Chris on liquor licenses? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Shuttrin.
I move to approve the renewal and issuance of the liquor licenses presented for a term beginning April 1st, 2026 and ending March 31st, 2027, pending the issuance of business licenses and occupational permits according to the current zoning laws, pending state and legal approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Shuttrin, seconded by Councilman Kilpack. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. It's unanimous. Correct? Okay. Item B, consideration of Amendment 1 to the existing agreement between the city and HDR Engineering Incorporated to perform additional inspection and testing on north side and upland water tanks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Dustin Romero with the Public Works Department. Last year, the city retained potable divers to clean and inspect north side and upland tanks. And in their inspection report, Potable Divers identified some issues that need to be addressed with each of the tanks. In Northside tank, which is a concrete tank, they identified some cracking and spalling on a few of the concrete members. In Upland tank, which is a steel tank, they identified some corrosion and pitting on the shell of the tank. In August, the city retained HDR Inc. To review the inspection findings, some background information, and to provide some preliminary recommendations for rehabilitation. Since then, HDR has provided some preliminary recommendations, but they've also recommended that the city do some additional inspection and testing inside the tanks. And what that would include for a Northside tank, it would allow us to drain the tank, allowing us to access the tank to do a thorough visual inspection, measure some of the damage inside the tank. For Upland tank, it would allow us to do some ultrasonic thickness testing, where we would test the wall thickness of the tank to sort of measure the extent of the thinning on the shell of the tank. But ultimately, the additional inspection and testing would be used to refine HDR's recommendations. Amendment number 1 increases the contract amount by $37,539 for a total not to exceed of $47,289 to be paid on a time and materials basis. So with that, I will be happy to take any questions that you have.
Okay, do we have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few.
Councilman Williams.
All right, on the back page here, says $10,160 for project management. What's that consist of?
That involves HDR's workload, just preparing documents for the confined space entry. They're going to have some preliminary stuff to prepare for on that. Just as part of accessing the tank, they have to apply for confined entry permits from the city, so it covers that stuff. And it also covers just organizing and taking care of the subcontractor who's going to be doing the ultrasonic thickness testing, so it covers the overhead for that kind of stuff as well.
And then the second one, the data acquisition, $20,469. What's that contain?
So the data acquisition is where they're actually accessing the tank to get in to go ahead and measure the extent of the damage inside the tank, create a map for us to have to be able to analyze and show what they found during their inspection. And again, it also covers some of the ultrasonic thickness testing work as well.
And then $6,900 for findings into a memo? That's so they could give us the information, or?
So they've already prepared a memo which has their preliminary rehabilitation recommendations in it. So that line item is for incorporating that data and updating their memo accordingly. And I do want to highlight here that this is a time and materials contract. So what that means is they'll submit their invoices to the Public Works Department, where we review, and at that point we have an opportunity to make sure that we're actually receiving what we're paying for. So it gives us an opportunity to review their invoices and ensure that verify that we're actually paying for the amount of time that they're spending on this project. So these are just estimates. It is a time and materials basis contract, so we'll pay them accordingly.
So when they do find some problems up there, none of this consists of them repairing it. They'll send another bill, or they'll hire somebody to come in and say patch the cracks, or?
Correct.
So this is just basically engineering, going and inspecting it?
Correct. This provides updated recommendations.
And so when was the last inspection done on that tank?
It was May 2025.
'Cause I know we usually did it about every 3 to 5 years back in the day. So we did one last year, now we're doing one basically again,
So-
just more intense.
This is more intense, exactly. So we're gonna drain, so Potable Divers is a diving company. They get in there while the tank is still filled. This allows us to drain the north side tank, allowing us to access it, get in there, do a more thorough inspection. The testing on upland tank is gonna be non-destructive. We'll be able to do the ultrasonic thickness testing without draining that tank.
Okay.
But on north side, we'll be draining it, accessing the tank, doing a more thorough inspection.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions or comments for Dustin? Okay, seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Mayor,
Councilman Kilpack.
I move to approve Amendment 1 to the agreement with HDR Engineering Incorporated, which carries a not-to-exceed cost of $37,539 and authorizes the mayor to sign Amendment Number 1, increasing the total not-to-exceed cost for the project to $47,289.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Kilpack, seconded by Councilwoman Bushman. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, so I want to make sure from now on that I do it.
There.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in favor and 1 opposed. Is that correct? Five in favor, 1 opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Dustin. Okay, consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Who was that? Okay. There's no discussion on the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 1, 2, 3, 4 to 2. Mr. City Administrator.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Not a whole lot to report. I'll let the mayor talk about the WAM conference, a couple that was attended last week. Steve Core sent out a really good update today with a lot of information on it for everybody to review and read. Quite a couple attachments in there, got a lot of additional information for everyone to go through in that. Please let any of us know if you have any questions. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. City Attorney.
I have no report tonight, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Galen. We'll start with Councilman Kilpack.
I have a couple of things I need to bring up. One, to explain to the council why I voted the way I did. But the first thing I want to bring up is the 6 penny. I want to thank Ryan Rust for the hard work he's done. And I hope that if you haven't, I hope you will read the department head update and the information that Steve has put together for us to let us know where we are on this, and we have the potential to, and it looks really good, we have the potential for the 6 penny money to come into Green River and other communities throughout the county to be increased, especially to Green River, to quite a large amount. And I want to thank Ryan for the hard work he's done. And so for those that don't know what that amount is, if you just look at the department head update, it's in there and you'll be able to see it. I don't remember if it was this week or last week's update, but I think it was last week's, but it was really, really positive. And so he needs a lot of credit for that. And Chris has helped him somewhat, and so has Steve Core, and I appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys for the work you've done. The other point I want to bring up, and I want to make it really clear that I do disagree with Councilman Williams that there's a problem in the minutes of last meeting, but I want to just bring up one thing to the council, have us stop and think just a second about that. I remember some time ago when I was on the council that in the consent agenda, we approved to increase the contract of a city administrator and also increase his wages in the consent agenda, where the consent agenda right now has no discussion. And so that was not really a good thing that we did. So what I'm trying to say is every council person, whether we agree or disagree, has the right to move an item from the consent agenda to a council action item for discussion. We don't have to agree with them, and I don't agree with Councilman Williams. Even though he's a good friend of mine, I do not agree with him. And so I think we need to be really careful as a council to deny an individual, any member of the council, to not have the right to move an agenda from consent to a council action item. Now, having said that, the mayor, who runs the meeting and is in charge of the agenda, has a perfect right, and so do we as a council, to not move something up there. But I think down the road, just like I mentioned, that we had one city administrator's contract increased in time and wages go up in the consent agenda, which we should have pulled that out and discussed it in an open forum. And that happened, it's probably been about 8 or 9 years ago, but it had to be longer than that because Reed has been here 10 years, I think. I think he's been here 10 years, so it was before Reed came, but we just need to be careful about that. And so I want everybody to know that's why I voted the way I voted. And I do think that the minutes are correct. And I don't think they're wrong. I think from what I saw at the meeting I was at, I think the minutes are correct the way they are. And that's why I disagreed with Councilman Williams, but I supported him in the sense that he has that right to pull that out and bring it into a discussion if he so chooses. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Kopak. Councilman Williams.
All right. I respect that, Gary. It sounds we can't agree on everything, but I'd like to bring up a little bit what happened last week at council. When we went into that executive session, we discussed stuff I cannot say, but at no time was there an extensive discussion on contract extensions on what was involved in it. When I came out of that executive session, I thought we were coming out here and going to table it and put it on another vote for the next to the next meeting, not knowing that we were going to vote on it. So it brings me to the vote. When I was sitting there and it came across and Gary and Robert seconded it, I didn't get a chance to vote, neither did Councilwoman Mazer. She and me were sitting there and we did not have no discussion on the issue and we were not given the opportunity to vote. I've been told my vote has counted and it has not counted. I have a memo here from a city official saying Councilman Williams' nonverbal actions and prior discussions on this matter was a reason I was voting no. I was also told I leaned towards the microphone and they construed that as a no vote. At no time did I say nay, no, or nothing, but my body language and my past history is what my vote was counting. No, it's right here, people. You can read it from Chris Meats to Jesse Mazer. You can shake your head all you want, Mayor. You want a copy? I'll get you a copy. So needless to say.
I have, Ron.
Yes, and that's what it says.
I have my opinion on what happened, and I have a right to
But it's right there. It's
I have a
black and
right
white.
to my opinion in the same
But
way you
anyways,
do.
I'm talking, and so my vote was not counted, either was Mrs. Mazur's, and so that was there. So needless to say, I would like to have my discussion. Okay, part of the discussion is, I don't
Hold on.
This is part of the discussion that I would like to put out there, why I'm not going to vote for the extension of the city administrator. I do not know what's in the contract. I've seen 3 or 4 different verbal things, written things. I don't know if we have a 6-month parachute clause, a 9-month parachute clause. I don't know if there's any bonuses in there. I don't know if there's raises in there. I have not seen nothing. And then again, with this memo right here, it says again, we're still in negotiations. The time of vote has not yet been fully present to the city administrator. Once negotiated between the 2 parties and finalized and agreed in full executed, the contract will become public record. So technically, we voted on something we haven't even finalized yet. So who knows what they could put in there? I don't know. I haven't seen it. So that's what was voted on last week by our council, except for me and Ms. Mazur. So needless to say, that is why, it's really troubling to me that we can throw that in there and pass things up. And I would just like it to go on record. I'm casting my vote as a no now. So we can go back to that consent agenda or whatever the heck, and you can put me in there as a no vote or a nay, or I raise my hand, however you would like me to do it. And the reason I'm not voting for him as an extension is I didn't even know. I thought we were actively searching for a replacement down the road. Back in December, we talked about it as a council. Also, I thought it was just going to be an extension up to January, then it jumps into the end of June. So I don't know. There's just a lot of dirty stuff, I'll call it, in this thing. And like I'm saying, I can't agree with some of the stuff that's in the old contract. I can't agree with an $800 a month truck allowance. I can't agree with a $15,000 bonus. I can't agree with all that stuff. Paying into a 457 account. That's what all the employees have to pay on their own. We shouldn't be paying into that. I can't agree with paying for his golfing memberships. So these are things why I can't agree. And I gave him an unsatisfactory job performance. I don't agree with some of his hiring practices, mostly with our fire chiefs. That's why I have a problem with extending this contract. So that's all I have to say, and put my name down as a no vote. Thank you. And one more thing, since I got we all here, thank you to the Green River Fire Department. That was a nasty wreck you guys went on, and I drove by it. It was not nice at all, and I'm glad you guys had to deal with it, because I couldn't have dealt with something that bad. And thank you to the hitching post for providing burritos and food and stuff to our firefighters. Thank you very much.
Councilman Shutter.
I have no report this evening, Your Honor.
Councilman Berg.
I just have a question. A constituent reached out to me and was wondering what we're planning on putting on for the 250th anniversary. I know there was talk about a plaque, but that's all I know about.
Steve can answer. Steve, you want to answer that?
As I've reported several times in our department head meetings, we got with the Daughters of the Revolutionary War. Storm Adcock came to us. I believe she spoke at the council meeting. We have ordered a plaque that we're going to place down at Evers Park, not Evers, Moran Park. And we're going to do that in conjunction with Rock Springs, because they're getting one too. So these state leaders are going to come in, and I believe we're doing ours first and then Rock Springs. I can't remember the order. And frankly, I have the date written down. It's in my office. I can't off the top of my head remember the date. But it's in conjunction with them, and I believe it's in August. Now I do remember. It's in August, and it'll be part of the River Fest. So they're going to do Rock Springs first, come over and do Green River, and we'll invite all our dignitaries down to the shrimp boil and all that stuff we have going on down there.
Cool, can you just text me the actual date of the 2 days for Riverfest?
Okay, yeah, okay.
Cool.
All right, I'll do that, yeah, you bet. Thank you. And then, of course, our parade theme for Flaming Gorge Days is the 250th, and we just got word from the Highway Department that we'll be allowed to do the parade on Flaming Gorge Way. We're a little concerned about the tunnels and what they were doing there. It's my understanding, I guess they're going to work on one of the other side of the river bridge on Uwena this summer. They haven't got that figured out, the dates and all that, but, so we did get word from YDOT that we can do the Flaming Gorge Days parade on Flaming Gorge Way, which I think is great.
Thank you, Steve. Does that answer your questions, Robert?
That'll give me some information to send to him.
Any other comments?
That's it. That's all.
All right, Councilwoman Bushman.
Thank you. I just want to say, sorry I missed the fun at the last council. I've been a little under the weather. But for record, I would have voted for the extension of Reed's contract and obviously it was as is. I just wanted to make that known. Anyways, I was at a legislator dinner forum that was sponsored by AFP with Senator John Kolb, Senator Stacey Jones, Representative Cody Wiley, and Representative J.T. Larson. It was quite informative, and surprisingly, it was actually short. It was only about an hour. Usually those things take about 3. So, but it was very, like I said, informative. I'm glad I was able to attend. And then just a reminder of everyone, I'm sure Kitty would like this little shout out for Frostbite this weekend, this Saturday. I signed up for it, and I'm gonna very much try to definitely be there if I can. So I hope everyone can go and cheer everyone that's crossing the lines.
Take first.
Huh?
Take first.
Well, we'll see.
I know you can do it.
We'll see. That's all I have there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bushman. As Chris mentioned, 3 of us went down to the Wyoming Association of Municipalities, which is the lobbying organization for 98, isn't that what they said? 99? All 99 cities and towns in the state of Wyoming. And it was an excellent meeting. There were a lot of really good speakers. We went to the legislature. We talked. There was all kinds of opportunities at night and on Friday going to the legislature, going to the Capitol. And it was just a really excellent meeting. One of the other things that happens is we're in Region 6, which is from Granger to Elk Mountain, Hanna, in that area. So all of those towns and cities were in attendance also, and we had some really good discussion with them on potentially working together to do some things, signage and things of that nature in conjunction. So it was real good. We worked together, and it was very positive. So early June is when the summer session, and it's going to be in Laramie if anybody else is interested in attending. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor?
Councilman Shuttrin.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Shuttrin, seconded by Councilman Berg. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, everybody.
I'm sorry, Sherry.